Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. This side Rahul Magan here, working as the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP. And today we are going to present a very interesting topic that is very recent, that is the deepening of the Indian corporate bond market. As you very well understand that nowadays there are a lot of talks which are happening about the replacement of the Raghuram Rajan. At the same time, a lot of other talks are also happening that how Indian corporate bond market can be deepened, right? So there are strategic steps which are taken by which Reserve Bank of India would like to take in the near term to deepen out the corporate bond market. However, at the same time, we should not forget that such steps are proposed by Reserve Bank of India. You need lot of clarification, deliberations, approval from variety of the regulatory bodies and sometimes Parliament also. So this will certainly take some time. But sitting today, these are the few steps which are taken up by the Reserve Bank of India. Before starting this video, let me give you a small background of this video from where we are coming up. We understand that bond market is very crucial nowadays because certainly if we see outside, which is United States, Tokyo and China, they three hold the deepest bond market in this world. US bond market is approximately 15 trillion. China is approximately 4.5 or roughly 5 trillion. On the other hand, Japanese is roughly 10 trillion. We all understand that every day the total foreign exchange trade happening is close to 5 trillion. On the other hand, total, this is FX trade. On the other hand, the total interest rate derivatives trade which is happening is approximately 100 trillion, which if I say is approximately 20 times than that. And in these three markets play a very important role, which is United States, which is Tokyo, and which is China. Of course, there are other markets which is Singapore and other, but they more like act like a facilitator because Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, they are acting as a global financial center. So they more or less act like a facilitator in that regards. So the following are the steps which are taken up by the Reserve Bank of India, and I certainly do not think that this will make corporate bond market very deeper in India, and I will share my views exactly why this would happen. So the first step is that they have taken a series of measures to deepen the corporate bond market. This is certainly not possible in India. The reason here is that because Indian corporate books are extremely debt. Now yesterday I was watching the Bloomberg TV where I got to know that SR Oil is having more than 80,000 crores of debt in the books, and they are somewhere seeking an external commercial borrowing or ECB of roughly $10 billion as to replace the high cost debt with the low cost debt. So I was thinking that if an oil company having more than 80,000 crore of a debt in the books and looking for an ECB to replace an high cost debt to small cost debt, it effectively means that the finance cost factor, the cost, basically interest cost where you get accumulated in P&L is shortly known as finance cost. So the finance cost factor in the P&L is getting very higher. So that is something that is something we need to deliberate, right? And if you look Reliance and anyone, that the debt is getting very higher, and we all understand that how indebted the Indian corporate is, and the non-performing result is because of that non-performing asset of 5.84 lakh crores. Of course, the figure is stated by Reserve Bank of India. We never appreciate that figure because this is always understated. Is very less. That is certainly which we need to understand, that without changing the fundamentals, you cannot change the stuff. So if you are thinking that if you are going to make this series of stuff, this would help you out, I certainly doubt. But still, we are giving you a video, we will making you aware that such kind of events which are happening in the industry. Second is corporate bonds to be a part of RBI liquidity adjustment fund. Liquidity adjustment fund, those who are not about, the liquidity adjustment fund is nothing but where RBI will do the open market operations. In open market operations, you would have repo or you would have reverse repo. And repo and reverse repo is of two kinds. One is variable, one is fixed, and so on and so forth. So this is liquidity adjustment fund. Now what RBI wanted to do in that, currently the open market operations happening between banks and RBI, wherein the collateral is GSEC, which is government security. But Reserve Bank of India would like to have corporate bond as a collateral, which we certainly need to understand that. because there is a because if you allow a corporate bond as a collateral, then you need to agree and appreciate one fact which is not easy, which is haircut. So take a simple example. If Government of India issued a bond, say in 2009 for 10 years, this will mature in 2019. The sovereign guarantee is AAA. It will not default because the guarantee is given by Reserve Bank of India. On the other hand, suppose a corporate bond, say Tata Motors issued a bond in 2009 and today is 2019, then the value of that bond keeps swinging. It depends upon the financial statements of the Tata Motors, how Tata Motors is performing, how effective the relationship is with the Jaguar, how big is sale of the Jaguar is, and so on and so forth. It will keep moving. So here you need to consider the haircut. What do you mean by haircut? If somebody is giving you Tata Motors 400 crore rupee bond, then this is not 400 crore. This is certainly 350 crores or could be 330 crores. That we need to check, right? Third is strategic shift from market-based borrowing to bank-based borrowing. Currently, all the corporates are dependent upon bank for money. If not bank, then ECB. ECB is also a bank-based borrowing. Whether it is a ECB or FCNR, foreign currency non-resident or external commercial borrowing, that is both bank side, right? But if you wanted to be a market participant, then you have to change the shallow corporate bond market to deeper, and that won't happen overnight. We recently celebrate the 70 years of independence, and sitting today we stand nowhere when it comes to the corporate bond market. So if you are thinking that if you shift to market-based borrowing, wherein the corporates will come to the markets and take out the money rather than dependent upon the bank, this won't happen overnight. This will need a lot of time, and Reserve Bank of India need to appreciate that if sitting today, which is roughly August 2016, you would do that, then you will see the fruits at least in August 2020. Considering the fact that Indian corporates are getting huge indebted, the leverage is rising up, and it is very difficult for the people to raise the money from the market. And also we should not forget that the jobs cutting are very, very prevalent. Who will invest your money? It's bank. From where the bank will get the funds? People. From where people get the funds? Jobs. We all understand that the job market in India, companies don't want to invest in India, huge amount of FDI is not happening, and so on and so forth. That certainly we need to keep this factor. So today if you shift from market-based borrowing, you shift to market-based borrowing from bank-based borrowing, that is our mistake. We need to write from bank-based borrowings, then it will need some time. Fourth, electronic dealing platform which should have a central counterparty. We first need to appreciate that who would be the central counterparty. In case of NDSOM, negotiated dealing system of RBI, NDSOM, it is Reserve Bank of India. Here who would be central counterparty? It would be FIMDA, it could be FDI, it could be RBI himself, or it could be SEBI. We need to first appreciate, or maybe a central council party, or one party who is taking care of everyone, or maybe jointly made. That we need to deliberate and appreciate, and we need to reach to a conclusion. Then you have induction of tripartite repo. Tripartite repo is 3. Currently India do not have tripartite repo. Currently repo is happening like this. You have a bank is giving money to Reserve Bank of India. This is called reverse repo, right? When RBI give the money, this is called repo. Now in tripartite there would be a triangle. You have a bank, here is RBI, and here is FIMDA. We certainly need to understand that we need a very good infrastructure regarding that, because without having a good infrastructure, this is not easy. That is something which we need to understand. Fifth and very important, deliberate. Sixth and very important, perfect CRA. CRA stands for Credit Rating Agencies Framework. Take an example of Rico India. A company who not done the capex of 1 rupee increased its loan book from 300 to 1300 crore. Got the capitalization from the parent via commercial paper, and without even publishing the financials, the credit rating agencies give them a positive outlook and increase in the rating. How can that possible? Take an example of there is a recently fraud that has happened in India. I forget it. Wherein the credit rating is like this, MTech Auto, wherein the credit rating agency increased the outlook and also give a positive rating. MTech Auto, Rico India, worldwide there are many examples of that. So how can we make sure that the ratings which credit rating agencies are giving are exactly right when we have so many examples around us? The one answer would be the credit transition matrix. In credit transition matrix, you get to know that you was here, now you are here, now you would be here. But at the same time, we need to appreciate that credit transition matrix is something which can again be flawed. It's again but a matrix where you can see how you are moving. But why you are moving, what was the rationale of moving, what you saw in the financial statements of moving, you don't know. Here next, corporate bonds would be acceptable from an overnight repo to long-term repo. First of all, you need to create a framework in the system that wherein you allow corporate bonds to the overnight repo. And once it will get successful, then you will increase to long-term repo. The biggest question is that do the banks accept this corporate as a collateral? There is a very important case which we are going to cover tomorrow, State Bank of India, who is shifting from loan book to investment book. Though who are accepting the corporate bonds, and currently, if I am not wrong, as per the newspaper, there are around 35,000 crores of this bond book the SBI is having. You can very well see that if out of 35,000 crore, there would be 1 cent, then how much convexity and duration they are facing. Now that is certainly linked with here, that if you want to make a strategic shift from a bank base to marketplace, then you need to understand that how much time it will take. Last, RBI is also shifting to treat masala bond as a collateral. First of all, India sitting I think in 2016, the total number of masala bonds was roughly 7,500 crores. The total bond market of India is 500 billion. For US, it is 15 trillion. For China, it is approximately 5 trillion. For Japanese, it is approximately 10 trillion. And India is 500 billion. Nothing much to say. So 1 trillion is equals to 1000 billion. So you are roughly half trillion. In this half trillion market, out of which 7,500 crore belongs to masala bond, you think that you would accept masala bond as a collateral. Here you are doing the big assumption that people sitting on offshore would continue to buy the masala bonds. So although we have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel which suggest that basically the spread which you will get from the masala bond is not more than 1.6 to 1.5% for an offshore investor after including the hedging cost. And here we are not taking tax cost and others. And last but not the least, in the interest of time, INBMK. I know most of the people heard this word first time. INBMK, Indian Benchmark Index. Thomson Reuters is getting the values for that. INBMK. If today I want to know the value of 10-year, 3 months treasury bill, 4 months treasury bill, then I will get on INBMK. But the biggest question is still for me. The biggest question is that how can we make INBMK as another OIS? INBMK is depleting. People do not include the value of INBMK as a hedging cost. People go to OIS and include this as hedging cost. OIS stands for overnight index swap. You go to our YouTube channel and you get a lot of videos about overnight index swap. If you do not include INBMK as a hedging cost, then how would this possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The most important like the backbone of a human being, it is INBMK. If you wanted to deepen the corporate bond market, first step which you have to do, you have to consider INBMK, which is certainly beyond the discussion. So the purpose of the video is to appraise you that Reserve Bank of India wanted to deepen the Indian corporate bond market. Unfortunately, this is not easy. And if you include all the steps, then in context of India, it will take at least 4 or 5 years. Our contact details stands the same. Treasury Consulting LLP @gmail.com. Our alternate email ID is rahulmagan8 @gmail.com. My mobile number is 9899242978 and my Skype contact is Rahul5327. This is Treasury Consulting. Thank you and have a great day.